I went to pick up my wife from the campsite, only to find her lounging lazily in another man's arms. The man had one arm wrapped around her slender waist. "Stop it, my relatives haven't left yet," she said, her voice dripping with coyness as she hooked her arms around his neck. I immediately recognized the man as Mike Williams, my wife's ex-boyfriend. Ding! Story Shots reminds you to click the subscribe button at the bottom right corner to read the full novel. My blood boiled, and reason crumbled in that moment. I reached for my concealed weapon, intending to make this treacherous couple bleed right there. "Mike, I've already lost you once. I don't want to lose you again. I'm getting a divorce, then I'll marry you," Yvette said passionately. "That worthless man makes me sick just looking at him. He's nothing but a bit of money." Faced with his wife's heartfelt confession, Mike Williams was momentarily speechless. He removed his hand from her waist, frowning deeply. "I'm in a lot of debt right now. I can't bear to make you suffer through hard times with me. It's just money, isn't it?" Yvette replied dismissively. "That good-for-nothing has plenty. What's his is mine. After the divorce, I can easily get millions in the settlement. My money is yours, and so am I. Spend the money as you like. Do with me as you please." Yvette's eyes sparkled as she spoke. "You little minx, still so naughty. But I like it," Mike growled, suddenly grabbing her bottom. "Ah, you're terrible," she giggled. Mike's face lit up with excitement at her response. I stopped in my tracks, my head buzzing. The knife slipped from my hand unnoticed. Mike Williams raised an eyebrow. "Tell that bastard to transfer some money. I want a new phone. This one's always lagging when we're gaming. Can't keep up with the pace." "Sure thing. I'll transfer it to your card later. That rich wanker's got plenty of dosh. Might as well use his money to spoil you. Haha." "Thanks, darling. No need to thank me. That boring git has no idea how to have fun. Just knows how to shag. What a waste." I froze, feeling a chill despite the summer heat for the first time. Trying to compose myself, I retreated to a corner to make a phone call. "Honey, where are you camping tonight?" "Not camping. I'm at my parents' tonight." "Honey, I've heard those camping groups can get a bit wild. Maybe we should stop going." "Kenny Johnson, are you mental? What's wrong with camping? Why's it suddenly wild? Why are you being so dirty-minded? You nutter. I'm hanging up. Make sure you clean the house and wash and hang my underwear. You hear me?" With that, my wife hung up on me. She linked arms with Mike, her tone softening. "Babe, let's go over there. It looks fun." I glanced over to see a bonfire that had been lit at some point. Around the fire, countless couples were chatting away. So this was the so-called camping society. I was utterly gobsmacked. In a daze, I heard a voice over a loudspeaker. "Bring someone else's husband or wife and join our camping bonfire party. This is your haven of rest, your paradise of desire." I rushed home that night, my mind filled with sickening images of the adulterous couple. I had been working myself to the bone for our family, never imagining that Yvette would rekindle her relationship with an ex. Before marrying me, Yvette worked as a shop assistant in a small convenience store, earning £1,000 a month with no weekends off. After our marriage, I gave her £2,500 monthly for pocket money. She spent her days idly, either sleeping or playing video games. 3 months ago, this usually lazy woman suddenly wanted to go camping. Without a second thought, I agreed and even paid thousands of pounds for her camping fees. Yvette showered me with praise. "You're the best, darling. Once I'm feeling better, we'll try for a baby. I love you." How laughable it all seems now. When something seems out of character, there's usually a catch. Why would my typically indolent wife suddenly want to go camping? I carefully recalled her changes over the past few months. What struck me most was how her gaze became evasive, and she had surreptitiously changed her mobile phone's lock screen password. But she seemed to forget that I was the one who signed her up. I had been keeping an eye on the camping group's updates daily. Originally, I had planned to surprise her by picking her up today after returning from my business trip. Instead, I witnessed a nauseating scene. I lit a cigarette, gazing at the city lights outside the window, my heart growing colder by the second. Yvette sent me a message asking me to transfer £2,500. I knew this was for buying Mike a new mobile phone. I smirked. As usual, I promptly transferred the money. She received it instantly. Not even a word of thanks. Perhaps, from the very beginning, Yvette always thought she was the one settling for me. I dialed Frank Parker's number. "I need you to find me a reliable private investigator," I said. "Has Yvette been unfaithful?" Frank asked. "That slut was bound to cause trouble sooner or later. You've seen how she flaunts herself." Sensing my silence, Frank seemed to have guessed most of the situation. "I'm on it, boss," he assured me. "Good," I replied mechanically before hanging up. I found the photo of Yvette snuggling up to Mike Williams and sent it over. Stubbing out my cigarette, I stumbled into the bathroom. I set fire to her lingerie, burning it to ashes. Watching the flames, a cold smile crept across my face. It seemed the game had begun. Late the following night, Yvette Collins finally arrived home. She rushed into the bathroom to take a shower as soon as she got in. Even after her shower, I could still smell the foul odor on her. "Kenny, where are my clean clothes?" she asked. "They were old, so I threw them out," I replied, watching her with feigned interest. She wrapped the towel more tightly around herself. "What are you looking at? It's not like you haven't seen it before," she said coyly. I unconsciously scratched my head, but my eyes couldn't hide the contempt I felt. "For someone as promiscuous as you, those old clothes weren't fitting for your wanton soul anyway. I bought you new ones. They'll arrive in a couple of days," I said. "How generous of me," I thought sarcastically. Yvette pouted, leaning in for a kiss. My stomach instantly churned. I quickly stood up and lit a cigarette. "You must not have rested well at your parents' house these past few days. I made you a cup of milk," I said, desperately trying to change the subject while maintaining my composure. This tainted woman was a sin to even look at. Yvette, suspecting nothing, took the cup and drank it all in one go. Couldn't help but smirk. I had tampered with the milk beforehand. "Kenny, I'm so tired. I'm going to bed now," she said. "Oh, and don't you dare touch me. I'm exhausted. Maybe later," she added with a wink. "Emichum," I mumbled, not even looking up. She couldn't see the malice on my face. Yvette Collins quickly fell into a deep sleep. I used her fingerprint to unlock her phone. At the top of her WhatsApp chats was a man called Mike Piggy. I had a gut feeling this was Mike Williams. I clicked into the chat. The string of messages made me clench my fists in anger. Just moments ago, during her bath, she had been chatting with Mike. They had added each other as WhatsApp contacts 3 months ago, when Mike had just returned from abroad. The first message was, "Fancy a meet?" Yvette immediately replied, "Sure." Then followed various flirtatious messages and racy pictures. "I miss you so much. I feel awful when I can't smell your scent. I want you by my side every day. You are all my sunshine, my rain, my freedom. Don't worry, I won't let him touch me. I feel sick just looking at him." Mike replied, "If you want to be with me, just get a divorce. He's at the peak of his career now. The longer we stay together, the more we can milk him for. The more we get, the less you'll have to struggle later. I don't want you to work so hard. Ah, you're such a good wife to me." I turned to look at the sleeping Yvette. I wanted to tear her face apart. I really wanted to end her with one knife stroke. But I wouldn't do that. After so many years in this world, I deeply understand one principle. Anger is the beginning of misfortune. The game has just begun. How could it be without the leading lady? You want to be a gold digger, huh? I'll show you through my actions that gold diggers never end up well. In the early hours of the morning, I received an email from the private investigator. They provided me with Mike Williams' contact information and home address. Attached were dozens of photos from various dates and a long list of hotel bookings. I opened them one by one. Overall, it appeared that Mike's official girlfriend was a wealthy woman in her 40s. She was large and overweight, always picking him up in her Maserati. Oddly enough, she looked strangely familiar to me. Yvette Collins could only settle for second place. Just tonight, while Yvette was on her way home, Mike had gone to the Seaview Villa to mingle with the rich lady. Poor Yvette, still keeping herself pure for him. This was what she called true love. Bloody ridiculous. I registered a new WhatsApp account and successfully added the fat woman's contact. The fat woman sent a voice message. "Who the damn are you?" Adding me and not saying anything. I played dead and didn't respond. The next day, I told Yvette that I needed to go on a business trip for a few days. Great! Yvette sat on the sofa, her microphone on as she played games with her teammates. The company provides an allowance for business trips. "Bring me back some cheese when you're away," she said. "All right." Yvette barely lifted her eyelids when speaking to me, perhaps sensing my displeasure. She looked up and forced out a smile with difficulty. "Darling, drive safely on the road." "I will," I replied. I left the house feeling dejected. I parked the car in a park not far from home. As soon as I left, Yvette quit her game. She picked up a shopping basket and called me from the guest room. "Have you set off, love?" "Yes, I've left." I honked the horn on purpose. "Don't go messing around while I'm not with you. Those women out there aren't clean." Her words about being not clean made me feel sick. She didn't know that in my eyes, she was now the most unclean woman of all. Not just her body, but her heart was filthy too. "I know," I said, ending the call abruptly. On the CCTV, Yvette was visibly startled. In my memory, this was the first time I had ever hung up on her. "Idiot!" Yvette cursed at me. I heard it clearly. Then she changed her tone and dialed another number. "Darling, come over for dinner later, will you? The fool's gone on a business trip. It's our chance. I'm off to buy groceries now. What would you like to eat? Is it all right to come to yours?" A man's voice replied. "Why wouldn't it be? It's free and exciting too. So what does my darling want to eat? Your wife will cook for you." "I only want to eat you," came the lazy voice from the other end. "After all these months, aren't you tired of me yet?" Yvette asked, feigning seriousness. "How could I ever tire of you? This is for life." "You smooth talker." On the CCTV, Yvette was smiling happily. I said the game had already begun. Before this, I did my homework in advance, installing hidden cameras and listening devices in concealed corners. Thinking back to how Yvette Collins and I started, it was like a dream. Yvette and I didn't have much time for dating. We were introduced by someone and hastily got married. At that time, she had been dumped by Mike Williams and lost faith in love. She just wanted to find someone to marry and live a stable life. As for me, I had lost a leg in a traffic accident and had less expectation for everything in life. Yvette was good-looking, and with someone's matchmaking, we foolishly got married. After marriage, I remained diligent and could earn a decent amount each month. Yvette quit her job and relied on me for support. However, she never brought me into her social circle. Perhaps marrying a disabled person was shameful to her. Frank Parker called. "Is the equipment working?" "Yes, it is." Surely Yvette wouldn't bring her toy boy back home? Aren't the love nests outside spacious enough? She would bring him home. After all, she was so shameless. By the way, that fat woman has quite a background. Her father is a notorious loan shark who was recently imprisoned. "Oh, want me to teach them a lesson? They're bullying you too much." Frank's tone suddenly turned fierce. "Forget it, mate. No need to sully your hands." Frank was a bit of a gangster. He was my high school classmate and had connections in both legal and illegal circles in our small town. Especially with that long scar on his face, he made people feel uneasy. After marriage, Yvette no longer allowed me to associate with Frank. She said he didn't seem like a good person and wanted me to cut ties with him. But she didn't know that Frank and I had been through thick and thin for over a decade, and he had never betrayed me. As for Yvette, not only did she make me a cuckold, but she also constantly coveted my wallet. I suppose this is what they call marrying the wrong person. On the CCTV monitor, I saw Yvette Collins returning with her shopping basket, humming to herself. She seemed to be in a good mood. She swiftly entered the kitchen. So this woman could actually cook. The homely aroma I had longed for was apparently effortless for others to create. How ironic. None of that mattered anymore, though. Once a heart grows cold, it's difficult to warm it up again. She brought several dishes to the dining table. She didn't forget to take some photos for social media. Not long after, Mike Williams arrived. I made a WhatsApp call to Harriet Edwards. Keep your man in check. Don't let him go out fooling around. What the hell is wrong with you? Who are you? You added me last time but didn't say anything. Keep Mike Williams under control. What? Who are you? Explain yourself. I promptly ended the call. Harriet Edwards tried to call back on WhatsApp, but I rejected it. She called again and I rejected it again. I sent her the exact address and password. I was betting that Harriet Edwards would definitely go there. My feelings for Yvette Collins were already dead. I watched them have a candlelit dinner through the CCTV, saw Yvette quietly change into a maid costume. I saw them in their birthday suits. They eventually collapsed exhausted on the sofa. Mike Williams said, "I really like the decor of this house. It'll all be ours in the future. You'll be the master of this house. If we get divorced, I want this house. Then it'll be yours, won't it?" Mike Williams was secretly delighted. Maybe coming here was a bit too much. What's too much? The most dangerous place is the safest place. For all we know, that dog of a husband might be fooling around with someone else right now. He's definitely going to cheat. I cursed silently. Damn, all you think about is what's between your legs. It's bloody disgusting. She assumed everyone was like her. I lit a cigarette, preparing to enjoy the main event that was about to unfold. The door burst open without warning. Harriet Edwards, a stout woman, stormed in with 2 male bodyguards in tow. She lunged at Yvette Collins, grabbing her by the throat and slapping her face repeatedly. "How dare you seduce my man, you little tramp?" Harriet snarled, continuing her assault. She then grabbed Yvette's head and slammed it against the wall. Within moments, Yvette's face was bruised and swollen. Mike Williams, pinned to the floor by the 2 men, could only watch helplessly. "Harriet, please stop. You'll kill her," Mike pleaded desperately. "Shut your mouth, or I'll tear it off." Harriet snapped. "Harriet!" Mike mumbled again. Harriet strode over to him and delivered a vicious slap across his face. "You ungrateful bastard. I feed you, I clothe you, and this is how you repay me? By cheating." She grabbed Mike's hair and smashed his head against the floor. Blood spilled from his mouth. Yvette, finally coming to her senses, threatened to call the police. Harriet remained unfazed. "Go ahead. Let the whole estate see what a shameless hussy you are. Slut!" she spat. Yvette's resolve crumbled instantly. "I'm just so bloody angry," Harriet raged, lunging at Yvette again. She yanked at Yvette's bathrobe. Despite Yvette's screams and struggles, her voluptuous figure was soon exposed. Well, you've got quite the body on you, don't you?" Harriet sneered. "But you made one fatal mistake, trying to steal my man." Harriet approached Mike, brandishing a fruit knife. She traced it lightly across his cheek. "Tell her who your woman really is," she demanded. Mike trembled violently. "It's you, Harriet," he whimpered. Yvette stared at Mike, disbelief etched on her face. Harriet turned back to the shell-shocked Yvette. "Listen carefully. I'm his woman. If this ever happens again, I'll carve those tits right off you. See how you'll seduce men then." "Disgusting whore," she spat. Satisfied that Yvette was sufficiently cowed, Harriet and her men dragged Mike away. Sensing the coast was clear, I dialed Yvette's number. "Darling, our business deal went through brilliantly. We've signed already. I'm thinking of coming home tonight," I said cheerfully. "We could have a bit of fun, you know? It's been ages since we've been intimate." "What did you say?" Yvette's voice was clearly panicked at the news of my return. "I said I'm coming home. Should be there tonight." "Oh, I'm in the loo now, so I'll let you go." Yvette hung up and I switched back to the surveillance feed. She sat on the sofa, quietly sobbing. After a while, she went to her room, got dressed, and tidied up the flat. Then, donning a baseball cap, she left. She sent me a message. Her best friend was going through a divorce due to infidelity and was feeling down. Yvette said she'd be staying with her for a few days. I didn't bother replying. I stared at the screen, fighting back a laugh. Yvette left the house and went straight to a pharmacy, then took a taxi to an unknown destination. I followed her. After many twists and turns, the car finally stopped at a bed and breakfast. I mused to myself, "Oh, Yvette, at least you still have some sense of shame." I dialed Frank Parker's number. "World-class B&B, keep an eye on it." "Roger that. I'll arrange it immediately." That evening, I received a call from my sister-in-law. "Kenny, next month is my coming-of-age party. What are you planning to buy me?" Kitty asked excitedly. I found myself in a predicament. "Kitty, didn't you have your 18th birthday party last year? Why are you having another one this year?" "Oh, Kenny, my mum got my birth date wrong. Last year's doesn't count, so we're having a proper one this year." I furrowed my brow. "Buy me a gold bracelet," she demanded. "It's not expensive, just about £1,000. Bloody hell," I thought to myself. I wanted to curse. I'm her brother-in-law, not her husband. How could she so casually ask for such expensive gifts? Kitty had finished secondary school last year but didn't go to university. She spent her days at home doing nothing, rarely leaving the house. "Kenny, dear, it's been a while since you visited. We old folks miss you." My mother-in-law chimed in, having snatched the phone from Kitty. I was about to say I'd come over in a few days, but suddenly changed my mind. "How about tomorrow?" "I'll come over tomorrow." "And Yvette?" she inquired. "She's sleeping." "Oh, well, you two should get to bed early. We're hoping for a grandchild soon. You've been married for a year now." I felt a bit nauseated and quickly ended the call. The next morning, I bought some tea, whiskey, and fruit before hitting the motorway. In less than an hour, I arrived at my in-laws' house. Seeing my arms full of gifts, my in-laws were delighted. Kitty came over too, but her face fell when she realized I hadn't brought anything specifically for her. The Kenny she was about to call out died on her lips. She flopped back onto the sofa to play her video game, cursing with every breath. "Idiot. Bloody moron." My face burned, feeling as if she was directing those insults at me. My mother-in-law pulled me into the garden and spoke to me earnestly. "Kenny, dear, you can see that Kitty is all grown up now, but she's not making much of herself. We can't let this continue. We're thinking of setting her up with a flower shop." "That's a good idea. It's better than her sitting at home all day. She's at the age where she should be supporting herself." I agreed. "Yes, that's what we thought too. The thing is, we're a bit short on funds at the moment." "How much are you short?" "We need £28,000, and we've only got £2,000 so far." I almost burst out laughing. "Your family now. Do you think you could help us out?" My mother-in-law looked at me imploringly. I nodded. "Of course, it's not a large sum. I'll see what I can do." "So, you're agreeing to help?" My mother-in-law's eyes lit up. I gave a non-committal My mother-in-law shouted towards the house. "Darling, make a couple more dishes." Kenny's agreed to help. I forced myself to finish the meal. As I was leaving, I looked back at the house. I wondered if I'd ever come back here again. As for the money, well, anyone can make empty promises. This whole family were like leeches. If I didn't distance myself soon, they'd bleed me dry one day. I had barely stepped into the house when my phone rang with a call from the surveillance team. "Has the big fish taken the bait again?" I asked. I smiled grimly. "Good, I was worried they might have actually cut off contact for good." I opened an app on my phone. Mike Williams' voice came through clearly. "Darling, you're the only one I love. Harriet was just a mistake. I only wanted her money because I owed some loan sharks. I had no choice but to pay with my body. You're the only one I truly love. Harriet said if I pay her £50,000, she'll let me go free." Yvette Collins remained silent throughout. "Give me £50,000 and I'll marry you." Mike delivered his ultimate move. Yvette couldn't resist the devastating impact of those words. "I don't have £50,000 either," Unless I divorce and get compensation from that bastard, she finally said. Then get a divorce. That bastard surely has 50,000 pounds. Everyone knows that cripple has money. Do you want to be stuck with a disabled man your whole life? I'm better looking than him and I'm great in bed, Mike coaxed. Let me think about it. What's there to think about? A shriek came through the app, followed by a series of indecent noises. I closed the app. These flies are so damn noisy. A week later, Yvette returned. She wore heavy makeup, appearing no different from usual. Darling, I'm on my period. Sorry I can't be there for you again, she said. Isn't your cycle quite regular? I thought you just finished a few days ago, I replied. I took some pills, so it came early. Neither of us had undergone sterilization. In the past, when we were together, I always used protection. Recently, after she started hooking up with her ex, she switched to taking emergency contraception. Over the months, her complexion had noticeably dulled. 2 peas in a pod, those cheating bugs. What pills? I asked, feigning ignorance. Just allergy medication, Yvette said casually. Taking too much of that isn't good for you. Be careful. You might not be able to have children in the future. I smirked. Yvette's face darkened. Kenny, don't you dare go too far. You can eat whatever you want, but watch your mouth. Yvette, don't you go too far either. What goes around comes around. I stood my ground. Yvette stormed into the bedroom. I followed her. What, can't admit it now? Get out, Yvette shouted. If anyone's getting out, it's you. This is my house. I seized the moment to throw a glass at our wedding photo on the wall. It hit the mark, shattering Yvette's eyes in the picture. Kenny, I want a divorce. Fine by me. You're a slag if you don't. Get out. Yvette Collins screamed at the top of her lungs. She complained to her family about the situation. However, her family members, including her younger sister, defended me in various ways. Divorce? You'll be eating dirt. Where else will you find a rich husband like him? Yvette's mother shouted, berating her. Calm down, calm down. Kenny hasn't abused you. Besides, don't you have any self-awareness about your temper? Yvette's father admonished. That's right, sis. Kenny even promised to buy me a gold bracelet for my 18th birthday party next week. Her sister chimed in. Where else could they find such a kind-hearted brother-in-law? Don't think I don't know. You just want his money, Yvette fumed. Yvette's mother retorted. We're family. What's wrong with using a bit of his money? I've raised you for a lifetime. Doesn't all that food and care cost money? He should show some appreciation. No wonder they weren't shy about accepting the 30,000-pound wedding gift. How was this any different from selling their daughter? However, all of this was about to end. I wouldn't mind sending one last 50-pound bracelet from eBay though. 2 tables were set for Kitty Collins' coming-of-age party. One for family members and another for neighbors. A large screen nearby displayed a slideshow of Kitty's photos through the years. After the 3rd course and 5th round of drinks, my father-in-law patted my shoulder and said, Kenny, my boy, you've gone to great expense again. Oh, it's only right. She's my only sister-in-law and we're family after all. I replied with a forced smile. Inwardly, 1,000 curses raced through my mind. Last year's party had cost me $5,000, and now they were pulling this stunt again. I didn't know where to put my face. My mother-in-law chimed in, Kenny, dear, about that 30,000 pounds for Kitty's shop. When do you think you could transfer it to us? Her tone was warm and friendly. In front of everyone, I made a grand promise to transfer the money right after the party. Wow, brother-in-law is so generous. Kitty applauded. Oh, Collins, you've really found yourself a golden goose, someone remarked. How did your girl manage to marry so well? As the guests showered us with compliments, Yvette's parents beamed with pride. I took out my phone and sent a thumbs-up emoji to Frank Parker on WhatsApp. Frank soon appeared in the hall. What's he doing here? Yvette frowned. Why shouldn't he be here? I'm paying for this party, so why can't my friend come? I retorted. Kenny Johnson, I don't want to argue with you, Yvette said tersely. Argue? Who's afraid? I suddenly raised my voice. My unusual behavior startled Yvette's parents. Now that everyone's eaten and drunk their fill, let me add to the entertainment, Frank announced, plugging a USB drive into the computer. Yvette seemed to sense something was amiss. A flicker of panic crossed her eyes, but she quickly composed herself. Commotion broke out. Slap! Slap! A furious, plump woman grabbed Yvette Collins by the throat and slapped her face more than a dozen times. She shouted as she hit. "How dare you seduce my sister Harriet's man? Do you have a death wish?" Then she pushed Yvette's head against the wall repeatedly. In a matter of moments, Yvette's face was bruised and swollen. Mike Williams was pinned to the ground by two men, unable to move. "Harriet, stop. You'll kill her if you don't stop. Shut up, or I'll tear your mouth apart." "Harriet." The plump woman walked over in a few steps and slapped him. "Damn it. You eat my food, use my things, and now you've learned to cheat?" She grabbed Mike's head and smashed it against the floor. Mike immediately spat out blood. Yvette snapped out of her daze. "I'm calling the police. Go ahead. Let everyone in your neighborhood see how shameless you are. Slut." The plump woman rushed at her again, tearing off Yvette's bathrobe. "You whore, not bad looking. You should never have seduced my man." Faced with this sudden scene, everyone felt awkward. Yvette's mother was the first to speak up. "Kenny, dear, you know Yvette used to have a boyfriend named Mike Williams. This must be an old video. It's all in the past." "How long ago?" 2 weeks ago." The timestamp on the footage was clearly visible. As I spoke, everyone started chattering. "Yvette always seemed so proper. This is too wild, isn't it? I recognize this room layout and decor. It's Kenny Johnson's place." Yvette's mother rushed forward, trying to control the computer, but Frank Parker blocked her firmly. Yvette's father, who already had high blood pressure, was so angry he clutched his chest. "What a disgrace to our family. I don't have a daughter like you. This marriage is definitely over." With those words, I stormed out. I didn't want to be the fool anymore. My £30,000, down the drain. Kitty Collins screamed as she grabbed Yvette's hair, and the two sisters quickly began fighting. As soon as I left, Yvette's family bombarded me with calls. I rejected them all. "Kenny, what's next?" Frank asked. "Divorce, what else?" I replied coldly. "You really want to split the money with Yvette willingly?" "She won't get a penny," I said icily. "I trust you," Frank nodded. "Let's drive. We're going to Whiskey Miss tonight." We headed straight to the most luxurious club in the city. At 3 a.m., I stumbled back home, swaying slightly. As I entered, I saw Yvette sitting on the sofa with a dark expression. "What? Not with Mike tonight?" I sneered. "You've seen it all. I have nothing to say." "Let's divorce," she replied flatly. "Fine. Just leave with nothing but the clothes on your back." "Don't be ridiculous. Our savings are marital property. You have to give me half. I won't ask for much, just £50,000 will do." "Yvette, you cheat on me and still want £50,000? Have you no shame? It's what the law states. You have to give it to me, then we'll be even. Otherwise, we'll go through legal proceedings. I have all the time in the world." Yvette looked like she couldn't care less, ready for a fight. The next morning, Yvette's parents arrived at our house. This time, I didn't give them a warm welcome. "Your daughter has done something so shameful. Don't you feel responsible?" I said coldly. "Kenny, dear, our Yvette has wronged you, but young people make mistakes. Can't you forgive her and move on?" Her mother pleaded. "I can't forgive this. She's tainted now, and I don't want her anymore," I declared. I pretended to storm out of the house angrily. Smack! Yvette's father slapped her across the face. "I'll kill you, you shameless woman. You've ruined our perfect little cash cow," he shouted. "I never liked Kenny Johnson. You forced me to marry him. You've made plenty of money this past year. Isn't that enough?" Yvette retorted. "Enough. I'm so tired of this," Yvette cried hysterically. Her mother went over to hug her, whispering, "If you must divorce, at least wait a bit. Have a child first, we could get more money that way. Why are you so stubborn? Her father grumbled. Watching through the hidden camera, I nearly burst out laughing. I went to the local market and picked up some fancy ingredients for dinner. When I returned, the old couple couldn't have looked happier. Yvette's mother started cooking, with Yvette as her assistant. Her father and I had tea in the living room. Everything looked the same as before, but I knew we were all starting to calculate our next moves. I used to play along, but not anymore. The money that rightfully belongs to me, I'll get it back double. After dinner, I walked Yvette's parents to the door, forcing out a couple of tears. Mom, Dad, even if Yvette and I divorce, I'll still consider you family. I just want her to be happy, I said, choking up. Oh, what a good lad. Why can't Yvette appreciate you? They lamented. I agree to the divorce. I'll give her £50,000. Please don't try to change my mind, I said firmly. All right, her parents said in unison, their faces relaxing. All they could see was the money. I went back inside, but Yvette was nowhere to be found. She's truly rotten to the core, can't even wait a few days. The private investigator I hired called. Boss, Miss Collins is at that same Airbnb again, getting cozy with Mike Williams, he reported. Understood. You can stop following her now. Use the rest of the money to buy the lads around, I replied, ending the call. I quickly drafted the divorce agreement. I sent the electronic document to Yvette Collins for review, and she had no objections. The £50,000 she was concerned about was clearly stated in the agreement, to be transferred on the day we received the certificate. I hired a cleaning service to thoroughly clean the house and threw away all the bed sheets and duvets. Yvette also came to collect her jewelry and clothes. As she walked past me, she exuded a foul odor. Once a woman becomes unclean, she's unpleasant to look at in every way. During this time, I kept in touch with Yvette's parents every few days, asking after their well-being. Maintaining contact was part of my plan. Signed, sealed, and delivered. My marriage, which had begun hastily, ended just as abruptly. I transferred the £50,000 to Yvette. Yvette tilted her head back. Kenny Johnson, I've been with you for nearly half a year. This £50,000 is fair. You'd have to spend money even if you went out to find someone else. Get out. The sight of you makes me sick. Yvette floated away. Not far off, Mike Williams was waiting for her. She gave Mike a passionate kiss. Mike, however, appeared uncomfortable and awkward. What are you afraid of? I'm single now, and besides, we have money. We don't need to fear Harriet Edwards anymore. Mike nodded, snapping out of his daze. Thanks, ex-husband bro. Mike waved at me. What are you thanking me for? I should be thanking you for letting me see her true colors. However, how could this money possibly end up in someone else's hands? It would all come back eventually. I thought to myself, watching their retreating figures. I made a phone call to my mother-in-law. The whole family was at home. This is a surefire investment opportunity. You don't want to miss out on this chance, I said enthusiastically. When have I ever lied to you? Even though Yvette and I are divorced, I still consider you my parents. I added, trying to sound sincere. I'm not like Mike. I'll take care of you, but he might not. I've heard he's in deep with loan sharks. Yvette's blinded by love, and that money might just end up in Mike's pocket. I continued, planting seeds of doubt. Why not invest the money instead? It's a much safer bet, I suggested smoothly. You've got a point there, son. My former father-in-law nodded approvingly. How much have you invested? He asked, curiosity piqued. I've put in £50,000. That's all I've got, as you know, I replied, feigning openness. I was planning to invest £100,000, but I had to give Yvette half in the divorce, I added, letting a note of regret creep into my voice. What a shame. The more you invest, the more you gain, I said, baiting the hook. Well, I'll invest £100,000 then, my former father-in-law declared. That's a bold move, I praised, inwardly gloating. What they didn't know was that the investment app was actually a crucial tool for money laundering. The three of them ganged up together, using some unknown tactics to forcefully take back the £50,000 from Yvette's hands. This £50,000, plus the £30,000 wedding gift from a year ago, along with my regular transfers totaling £100,000, was not a problem for them. Kenny, how do we set this up? Yvette's father asked. I video called Yvette's dad, guiding him through installing the app, linking his bank card, and making a deposit. It was all done in one go. I took a deep breath. Kenny, mate, that was brilliant. Not only did we get rid of that nasty piece of work, but we also got the money back, Mike said. You were so sure they'd invest, Frank added. It's a gamble, isn't it? I replied. What are we gambling on? Human nature. The next day, my father-in-law called excitedly. Kenny, my boy, yesterday, £2,000 in interest was credited to my account. That's £60,000 in interest for a month. I'm really raking it in. I forced out a couple of dry laughs. What's wrong, Kenny? Just a sore throat. I've caught a cold. Right, well, you don't need to withdraw every day. Leaving it there means the interest compounds, he said. I tried to keep my voice level. Oh, I see. So I can earn even more then. Haha. That's right. More earnings, steady earnings. My eyes gradually turned cold and vicious. With that sorted, I turned my attention to Mike Williams. He thought he was the winner, not only getting the girl but also paying off his high-interest loan. But he forgot that I was his rival too. I had my surveillance team send the audio recordings of their trysts at the bed and breakfast directly to Harriet Edwards. Furious, Harriet beat Mike up and demanded he repay the money. Naturally, Mike came looking for Yvette, who had become his only lifeline. In the B&B lobby, a panicked Mike cornered Yvette. Yvette, give me the money. I can't stand that fat woman anymore. I want my freedom. I don't have it, Yvette said softly after a pause. Didn't that bastard give you £50,000? He did. But my parents took it for an investment. What? Mike shoved Yvette away. How could you not consult me about something this big? That money was mine. Damn it. You damn woman. Mike viciously kicked Yvette in the stomach. Yvette slowly collapsed, large beads of sweat breaking out on her forehead. You thought I came back for you because I couldn't let you go? You stupid pig. I came for the money. He kicked her again. I calmly walked out from behind the reception desk. Hello. 999? There's a fight here. Mike fled in panic. Yvette clutched at my trouser leg. Kenny, take me to the hospital. My stomach hurts terribly. I think my ribs are broken. Looking at Yvette's pale face, I felt an inexplicable pang in my heart. Frank, take Yvette to the hospital, I said, my voice ice cold. Right away, boss, Frank replied. A few of my men who had rushed over upon hearing the commotion carried Yvette away. Yvette stared at me, her eyes full of confusion. She was probably wondering why Frank, known for his connections in both legal and illegal circles, was taking orders from me. Don't let Mike off. I don't want him to have it easy, Yvette said, using all her strength. I remained non-committal. The person who ultimately made Mike Williams suffer wasn't me, but Harriet Edwards. In the underworld, people live by either honor or cruelty. The news reported that a traffic accident occurred in our city last night, and the deceased was Mike Williams. Kenny, Harriet really gave us a satisfying outcome, Frank Parker said. I lit a cigarette. In this life, you always have to pay your debts eventually. By the way, has the money been transferred to our account? Yes, I was just about to report to you, Frank replied. We received £95,000. The Collins family took £2,000, and the platform deducted £3,000 as a service fee. I stared at the phone screen Frank handed me and let out a sigh of relief. Keep it safe. Next, we'll expand into other areas. Understood, Kenny. Yvette Collins would never know that Frank Parker, who had connections in both legal and illegal circles, answered to me as his boss. I didn't want to get involved in underworld disputes, preferring to observe the world from behind the scenes. It's just another way of living. It's not that I don't have fangs. I've just temporarily retracted them. 3 months later, I went to visit Yvette at the psychiatric hospital. After all, we had been married. Yvette looked haggard, crouching alone on the ground, talking to ants. I walked straight up to her. Kenny, you're here. I don't want to take the medicine. I'm not ill, she said. It's the ants who are ill. They're having affairs. The end.